Good afternoon and welcome to Williams Dog Training Company. We're here today with Fred and Jackson, and what we're going to be demonstrating for you today is Jackson's ability to understand and respond to his obedience commands, the corrections and motivations we give him while we're working with him, and the training equipment that we're using. Fred is using a regular 6-foot web training leash, and he's going to keep the bulk of that leash folded neatly in his right hand, leaving his left hand free to give the correction. The correction that we give is a tug and let go to the training collar, which is the second piece of equipment that we're using. Jackson's been fitted with his own personal training collar, and we'll show you how to properly use this during your one-on-one lesson. As you can see, Jackson is seated on Fred's left, which is where all our obedience training is done. In the first command, they'll demonstrate his heeling, which is proper walking on a leash. And Fred and Jackson take off doing that now. The command you want to use for this is Jackson heel, and then you just start walking and he'll fall right in line on your left-hand side. And we've also gone ahead and incorporated our automatic sit into this, so anytime Fred stops his feet, Jackson will sit. There's an example there. It's important when you're heeling Jackson that he walks at your pace on your left-hand side, as he's been trained to do, without pulling ahead or lagging behind. If he did attempt to pull ahead or lag behind, say no, give a tug and let go correction to his training collar, repeat the command to heel, and then start walking again. Now the next command they'll demonstrate is our stay command, which is a hand and voice command. Fred uses the open flat of his left palm and inches out from Jackson's muzzle, the one-word command to stay. He then walks out to the end of the training leash. Now this is a great exercise to build up self-control in Jackson. You can start practicing this one at about a minute's time and work your way up in increments until you get to about 3 minutes. And as Fred returns back to Jackson, he's going to walk all the way around him, providing an added distraction as he goes behind, and right back to that left-hand side heel position. He holds that sit-stay throughout, and Fred gives him some praise and then heels him right out of it. And he'll show you a little more of the heel sit and stay. There's that automatic sit. As they come back around, he gives him the stay again, back out to the end of the training leash. Now this time he'll give Jackson a minute to hold this position, and then he'll demonstrate our come or recall command instead of returning back to him. He calls him in using his name. Jackson gets right up, comes in, sits in front. Then we have a move called the finish. Fred heels Jackson right around the back of him and gets him right back to his left-hand side heel position. He'll demonstrate that recall one more time. Jackson's in a sit. Fred gives him a stay out to the end of the training leash. Gives him a second to hold it. And then calls him right in. Jackson gets up, comes into Fred, sits in front. And then the finish, right around the back, and right back to that left-hand side heel position. Nicely done. Now it's a good time to remind you want to practice all your commands with Jackson, about 15 to 20 minutes a day. You can practice inside or outside your home, and then just start incorporating the commands into your daily routine with him. Next up will be our down commands. The first is down from a heel position. Fred will use the open flat of his left palm straight down to the ground and the one-word firm command to down. He then gives him a stay and walks out to the end of the training leash. It's another great exercise to build up self-control. You can start this one at about 3 minutes time and work your way up in increments until you get to about 5 minutes. As Fred returns back to Jackson, he'll walk all the way around him just as he did on the sit stay, and right back to that left-hand side heel position. Jackson holds it throughout, Fred heels him right out of it. And we'll show you that down again when he comes back around. And you see Jackson's doing very well, but it's always important to follow through with your commands. So if you give him a command and he does not respond, the first word out of your mouth needs to always be no, followed by a tug and let go correction to his training collar, and then repeat the command you'd given him. Now here Fred gives him the down again, and a stay, back out to the end of that training leash. And this time he'll give him a second to hold it, and then he'll demonstrate that come or recall command right out of the down position. He calls him in, Jackson gets right up, comes into Fred, sits in front. And then the finish, he's going to heel him right around the back of him. And right back to that left-hand side heel position. Alright, we'll give them a second to get lined up for our final obedience command, which is down from a distance. This will be the down from a distance. You're going to have them in a sit, give them a stay, walk out to the end of your training leash. This is the only time we use our right hand to give the command, and Fred will drop him into a down from the end of the training leash. He'll then return back to Jackson one more time, walking all the way around, and right back to that left-hand side heel position. Alright, we've demonstrated for you our basic obedience commands we've been working on with Jackson while he's been here at school. It's been a pleasure working with Jackson, and we thank you again for choosing Williams Dog Training Company as your personal dog trainer.